In the next few minutes, you're going to learn where to actually find donors for your Catholic apostolate. Hi, I'm Brice Sokolowski, the founder of CatholicFundraiser.net, a website that's completely dedicated to helping Catholics just like you with their fundraising. So today, we're talking about where to find donors, and I'm going to give you 3 tips. Stick with me to the very end because these 3 tips work in unison. They're connected, and if you don't do one, it's going to be really hard to find donors, but I think these 3 tips are really going to help you. Now, before we dive in to these 3 tips, I just want to make sure that you've downloaded absolutely for free my 10 commandments to Catholic fundraising. These are 10 things that I think you should be doing with your fundraising on a regular basis because, well, these 10 tips have really helped me and they've helped thousands of Catholics organize their fundraising, figure out what's the best approach, where to find donors, how to ask for donations, and how to keep moving forward with your fundraising. So make sure that you download absolutely for free the 10 commandments to Catholic fundraising. The link is going to be right below. Okay, the 3 tips on where to find donors. I'm looking at my notes, and the first tip for you is, number 1, is you've got to be paying attention. Just pay attention to the people already around you. Usually what I see happen is that people make the assumption that donors are somewhere but not around them. They're over at another parish. They're on another side of the world. They're just not near me. And I'm a big believer that if you're doing God's will, God will be providing. We just have to open our eyes and open our ears. And that's what I find is usually the biggest hurdle, is that people, Catholics, when they are fundraising, they're unaware of who's actually around them. I've seen this countless times. Even, they happen to have in their contacts one of the people that they know, somebody who actually does want to donate, even a wealthy Catholic who does want to donate, but they're not thinking of that person. They're thinking of another person, or they're thinking of somebody that they don't know exists, but maybe somewhere else. So anyways, number 1 is you've got to pay attention because you are meeting people. You are connecting with the people that you need to fundraise with. Number 2 is you've got to meet people for the sake of meeting people. So with this, what I'm trying to say is that don't just look for people and say, hey, can you donate? Can you give me money? Can you give a gift? Can you do, the reality is that the majority of people that you meet won't donate. It's just the reality. It's not because they don't like you or they don't want to. It's just sometimes they can't, or they're not ready, or they don't know you enough. So there's a lot of reasons why people won't donate, and that is always the case. So what you need to understand, and this is my recommendation, is that you've got to meet people and learn who they are. Maybe if they can't donate, maybe they can volunteer. Maybe they can connect you with a few people. Maybe they can give you some good ideas, like I'm doing. Or maybe you can help them. So there's this mutual collaboration that happens. And again, I believe God brings you the people that you need. You just need to get to know them and figure out, okay, why did God bring this person in my life? What's here? How can we stay connected and work together? So that's number 2. Just meet people for the sake of meeting people, and again, paying attention. So with those 2, you're going to find donors. You're absolutely going to find donors. And then point number 3 is finding donors online. And so this capacity of just paying attention of who's coming, who's visiting, not just you physically, but who's meeting you online, and then getting to know them and figuring out, oh, this person might be able to donate, this person might be able to donate. These people, they don't really, they don't seem interested in donating. So you can do that physically, but you can also do that online, is meeting a whole lot of people. And this is one of the big things that I think Catholics should be looking at even further. There are tons of ways of meeting tens and thousands of Catholics online. One of the biggest recommendations is called the Google Grant, which happens to actually be a grant to run ads on the internet absolutely for free, Well, in fact, Google gives you a $10,000 budget every month to get your word out. That means that roughly is about 4 to 5, maybe even 6,000 clicks. So when you present an ad, people see the ad and people oftentimes click the ad. And so when that happens is they click and they more than likely go to your website. I'm not going to go into the specific details of how the Google grant works, which is what you apply for, how easy it is to actually apply for, how do you implement it with ads, and how do you direct them to your website. That's not what this video is about, but it's just to say this is another opportunity of finding donors online, which is, again, just meeting people for the sake of meeting people. If you're going to need help with things like the Google grant or doing things online, or even figuring out, okay, I'm meeting people, what do I say? That's where I can help you further. But just keep in touch with me. I hope these have been very, very helpful. If you start moving forward and you need additional assistance, just reach out to me either via comment, via email, some type of message. Let me know, and I'd be happy to help. So anyways, those are my 3 tips. God love you, and see you next week. Bye-bye.